Hi, friends. Welcome back to another intuitive message for the collective. This week, I want to talk to you a little bit about this transitional time that we're in. I've mentioned in a previous episode about these old stories, ideas, beliefs, narratives that are shedding so that this new concept, this new identity, these new beliefs about ourselves may be attracted and brought forward. And often when we're in this transitional space, there's a little bit of work that we have to do to create that openness and receptivity for the new. So let me give you an example. I go to the gym and I like to either walk or run on a treadmill. And I like the treadmill for many reasons, but it can be a time where it's almost like my mind, there's like a free space for my mind to wander and float, and it can chew on different topics or ideas or things. And sometimes I'm listening to a podcast or to music, or sometimes I don't have anything on and I'm just kind of listening to the sounds, going on in the gym. But it is a place where I find myself able to kind of follow a thought and allow those narratives and thoughts to just kind of float in and out. Kind of like when you go into the shower too, like there's that free thinking threshold space. I think of the gym sometimes like that too. So for me, when I'm on the treadmill and these thoughts come in, I've just been noticing lately how much my mind wants to rehash and replay and go back over all these old stories, narratives, beliefs, situations, conversations, experiences, you name it. My mind likes to go back through all the old stuff and go through every little detail. Oh, how did that feel? What was happening? And as you can imagine, when you step into something that you formerly went through, you naturally can reconnect then with some of those emotions, feelings, experiences. And there's nothing inherently wrong with this. It's just that I've been noticing that my orientation towards those things, it's almost like it's not allowing for space for the new to come in, because my mind is so fixated and focused on replaying and rehashing these old stories, beliefs, narratives, identities. And it's like it won't leave room for the new that I really deeply want to call in. So when I'm on the treadmill and these thoughts are coming in and I'm, taking myself down the path of all the things that I already know about all these circumstances, and I'm finding myself feeling like a little emotional or, kind of, again, rehashing some of these things I've already been through, I realize I have to be more responsible with myself, meaning when those thoughts come up, I have to try to redirect them so that I can move myself or orient myself more toward the newness I'm trying to attract in. So what would it feel like if the thoughts, stories, whatever that show back up that I want to, rehash and chew on the bone of the old story, what if I said, wait a second, okay, I see what's happening here. I want to pivot over there, and I want to talk and think and explore and imagine and live in a little bit of fantasy space about this new thing that I'm hoping to manifest and create in my life. What would it feel like if I could orient my thoughts in a way where I spent more time in that space than I did rehashing and replaying the old? Friends, I think that's the invitation of this transitional time. And the intuitive message that I keep getting is, can you practice? And, when you practice something, you're not going to be perfect at it. You have to keep practicing to get better and better and better, right? So can you practice this experience of orienting your thoughts towards something new, towards a new pathway, towards something that you really ultimately want to create in your life, and not repeat some of those old stories that are ready to go. So the experience then is, let's let go of those old. Let's shed and be done. And one very important way of doing that is having more discipline around your thought patterns. And I am going to try and practice this more and more. And I think this is the invitation for all of us. What would it feel like to spend more time in that imaginative space? If you are someone who prays or meditates, what would it feel like to spend more time orienting yourself toward, what could this feel like? What could that be like? What if I explored that? What if I spoke to this person? To invite in some new energy that I know that I'm not the only one that deeply wants this, that might allow us to step into these new pathways that maybe they're not quite yet seeing evidence of in the 3D experience, but that we can invite in these energies and these, just this initiative then can take us down this new path, as opposed to rehearsing, rehashing, and revisiting the old stories and the old paths that we've done and been down many times. So my challenge is, when I go into the gym and I'm on the treadmill, running away or taking my steps, whatever, and the old story wants to step in, it's like, no, thank you. I see you, old story. I would like to put you down for now. And I want to spend some time in this new space. And maybe you only do that for 30 seconds, right? But I have to believe that the more we practice this, the better we get. So maybe then I move into a minute of doing that. Maybe I can run a whole mile for however long that might take me that day, and orient myself toward that thinking for the whole mile, right? It's this practice that I really believe we are being called to do, and to spend more time doing that than rehashing the things that we really are ready to let go of. So this is the invitation for myself and for you and for all of us. And I hope this will be something that you too can join me in practicing in your week ahead. So friends, until next time.